All right, good morning, everyone. This session is going to be recorded in case you want to refer to it later or in case someone was unable to attend this session. They can get this valuable information later by visiting our website, firsttexas.org. My name is Jason Arms. I'm the president and executive director of First in Texas. And first thing I'd like to do is start out by letting you know that our address has changed. It changed about 2 years ago, but we continue to receive mail and checks to the wrong address. And sometimes they make it to us and sometimes they don't. So please take the time to note our new address with your finance department. Again, this PowerPoint presentation will be available later for your reference, so you can have this information later as well. Also, we have a telephone number there that you can reach us anytime during Monday through Friday, 512-953-7701. And we build stronger in Texas, and I want to tell you why. This year, we're expecting more than 31,000 students expected to participate in our program this season. We have more than 7,000 Texans signed up to be volunteers this season already. And we already are anticipating or either planning already over 140 events across this great state. We are seeing explosive growth in some areas, but growth in all areas and all programs across Texas, which is very exciting for us. And we have more team grant funding available this year than we did last year. In fact, I think it's safe to say that we have more team grant funding this year than we've had in many previous years. I want to jump in and talk about youth protection real quick, because it's a very much a priority for us as a team here with First in Texas. Make sure all of the adults on your team or adults that are working with your team have background checks. While they're not bulletproof, it's a good, valid start to making sure that the parents, or not the parents, but the adults and everything associated with the team have a background check. This is a free utility that is offered through First and First in Texas. You can use our utility if you wish by visiting our website with the address on your screen. It's important that all adults working with your team understand Texas law and the boundaries associated with working with young adults. Texas has some very strict laws regarding working with children, and it's important that everybody knows the laws and knows what to do if something goes wrong. Require adults on your team to communicate with the team members in group messaging. There really should not be one-on-one communications between team members and adults. Remind your team members to promptly and immediately report any inappropriate or illegal contact to an adult or to the local law enforcement. Before the event, before you go to your event, here's a quick little checklist that is important for you to remember. Check the weather before traveling to the event. Texas is such a vast geography that it may be bright and sunny on the east side of Texas, it'd be cold and wintry on the west side of Texas. So it's important to please check the weather before you travel. If there's any watches or warnings, please make sure that you're paying attention to that. Also note, how are your kids feeling? You know, there's a current spike in COVID concerns again. How are your kids feeling? Does anyone have flu-like symptoms? Maybe they should sit this event out. You know, that is your decision, but, you know, take a moment to see how people are feeling. How are the kids on the team feeling? Is anyone feeling, or is anyone showing distinct changes in mood or behavior? You know, that could be a red flag for you about bringing them to an event. So please take a moment to review that. Also, it's important, especially these days, that you have a rally point. When you come to some of our events or all of our events, take a time as you're coming into the venue to designate a rally point. If for some reason we have bad weather, we need to evacuate, there's a fire, power failure, or anything much worse than that, it's important that you and your team have a rally point. And that should be an area that's safe, that it's easy to get to, so that they're not having, don't say, you know, meet me across the expressway there. You know, use it as an opportunity to find a place that's reasonably close by that your students can meet you at. So then that way, if we have to evacuate in a hurry, we can. And of course, have you completed the First in Texas consent and release forms? And that's going to be discussed here in just a second. At our events, safety and security. Remember, please only bring adults with you that have been screened by a background check and know the boundaries of working with children. That's important. If you think about it, we have, some of our events are, small, from 16 teams all the way up to over 80 teams, or in some, I think even 120 teams. So, if everybody's bringing adults with them, it's a lot harder for us to help make sure that they're safe. So please only bring people with you that you know that have been background checked and know the boundaries of working with children. We expect gracious professionals at all times, and everyone abiding by the first code of conduct and the first core values as well. It is in our employee handbook, and that's how much we believe in it. So please make sure that we're all gracious professionals when we come to events. Safety is a team effort. Please remind your team members to work and travel in pairs. So when they want to go get a Coke out of the vending machine, if they want to go around the corner to grab something out of sight of you, please remind them to work and travel in pairs. And please report anything suspicious. They need to report to you immediately on anything suspicious or inappropriate. Again, safety is a team effort. If you see something, say something. Every second matters in an emergency. Now, let's get back to talking about Texas Consent and Release. We are our own separate and apart nonprofit from FIRST. And we have our own requirements, contractual requirements by FIRST to have our own insurance. And our insurance carrier requires us to collect a consent release form that is valid and complies with Texas law. So it's very important and required that every adult and student complete a Texas form. And there's the link, a quick link to the form. It's the same one as last year. One thing that we've added this year is a very easy to use utility that coaches can use. That link is the second one there. You can type in your team number, and if everybody typed in their team number like they're supposed to on their consent release form, you're able to pull up a quick little list, hit print, and you can bring that with you to the event and easily show at check-in that everybody has completed their First in Texas consent release form. We want you to stay updated with us. There are many sources out there of information. There are so many Slack channels, Google groups, individual Facebook pages, and everything else. But we are the source of information for your events and your competition for this season. So please keep updated with us. FirstInTexas.org website. We've implemented Padlets for all programs in all areas. You can easily find your local area of Padlet and your program by visiting our website under programs, and then you can easily drop out into which region and program you're in. You can easily bookmark that for quicker access later. Watch for emails from your official area or program delivery coordinator, and make sure you follow us on social media. We're easy to find on Twitter, or now called X, Instagram, and Facebook. We're easy to find, First in Texas. As a reminder, this year is First in Show, presented by Qualcomm. And for our Lego program, it's Masterpiece. For our FTC program, it's Center Stage. And for FRC, Crescendo. And now over to Jessica with our grants department.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jessica Mejia, the grants manager at First in Texas, your point of contact for all of team grants. What you're seeing on the screen right now is our grant calendar for this year. As you can see, round one, the application was due yesterday, which means that if you are awarded a grant in the first cycle, you should be receiving a notification on Friday, September the 1st. Just to better explain the calendar, under each round, you see 4 different dates. The first one indicates that the 28th, we're reviewing grants to be able to identify the teams that will be receiving a grant. Notifications are sent on the first. Whether you receive a grant or you don't receive a grant in the first round, you will be getting an email from us with further instructions. And the following date is when additional forms are due. That means that if we request additional information, if you turn it in by, for example, September 15th, you will have your funds processed on September 29th. We process grant funds once a month. So if your forms are not in by the form's due date, your funds will not be processed until the following month. I know the reason I'm explaining this is because there's been some confusion on why there's 4 dates on the calendar and why grant funds were not processed. So if we request something and it's not submitted to us by that date on here, then that means your funds will not be processed till the next month. The next slide, please, Jason. Okay, so our application is now open. You are still able to turn in applications. We never really closed the portal. So even if the application due date for the first round was on Friday, you can still submit your application. It just won't be reviewed until the following round. We request that there's one application per team, and that one application will allow us to review your team for all of our grants that we have available at this point. Each of our grants that supports our team grants, they have their own targets and goals for their funding. So we look at the information submitted to identify your team. So that means that we're continually checking those team applications to make sure that we're identifying the best teams. So it's always better for you to get that application turned in as soon as you can. For our requirements, it's pretty basic information. We just ask for the team information, the team, the score organization. If you're a community team, we ask that you put that organization. If you're not, it's just put not applicable. Because we also provide grants for community-based teams. For the student information, we just ask for basic grades, gender, ethnicity. We don't identify or provide this information to anyone. It's just localized in our system to ensure the confidentiality for each team. We also look for mentors. Some of our grant sponsors are looking to sponsor teams that have their employees mentoring them. So it's always important for us to get that information from you to help us get that money to y'all. And then of course the W-9. So for the W-9, we ask that you upload the one for the finance institution where you're receiving your check. For example, some teams use an organization outside of the school to make it easier for funding, or they have their own booster club. We ask that you upload that W-9 to facilitate getting your money in a quicker manner. And then next slide, please. Okay. Oh, so right now these are the available grants that we have. If you don't see a grant on here for which your team is eligible, please still apply. We have constant applications out to get more team funding, and we have opportunities pop up. And sometimes the deadlines for when they want the team list is right around the corner, and we don't have time to go in and look for more teams that qualify. So like I said, it's always better for us to get those applications in ahead of time. Because that way we have it on file from the beginning and we already know, like, hey, you know what, this team qualifies. They haven't received a grant. Let's go ahead and award them this one. So right now we are awarding these grants that you see, but there's more opportunities incoming. So if you don't see something your team qualifies for, please don't let that discourage you from applying. And then for this one is an opportunity available through the University of Texas, El Paso. They have scholarships available for graduating seniors. If you have any questions for this one, please look at the website. This one's not managed through First in Texas, it's managed through UTEP, but we are encouraging all of our first seniors to apply for it.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Now over to Dr. Wallace for First Lego League. Dr.
You're on
Wallace, you're on
mute.
mute.
There you go. I'm Dr. Dee Wallace, and I'm the First Lego League manager for the state of Texas. First Lego League, unlike the other programs, have three different programs within the First Lego League. The Discover program, which is for our pre-K. This is a class pack only. It's a non-competitive um, program that we have starting for our early learners. Our Explore program it's really from kindergarten through the fourth grade. And as you can see with each program, there's kind of some overlap and transition for the ages and stages of the program. And then, of course, the one that most people know about is the first Lego League Challenge. And that is for our fourth through eighth graders. One of the things that we really need to be cognizant of for this particular program, you cannot be in third grade for this program, and you cannot be in high school. Next slide. The state of Texas is very large, and these are the areas that we have throughout the state, and these coordinators. So the first person that you're going to reach out to is your coordinator. The central area comprises the Alamo area of San Antonio, Waco, Corpus, and the Austin area. Pretty much all of the central Texas. The east area pretty much goes from Nacogdoches all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico on the east side. The north is going to Dallas area from the border of Louisiana over to where we will begin the Panhandle. Panhandle is basically that little Panhandle area, and south is basically the Rio Grande Valley area, and then west is going to be managed by UTEP, and that is out in El Paso. And so these are the people that you want to reach out to first to get more information about your programs. Jason, next slide. Okay, so here's a big thing. Big updates that we have is that we have had a tremendous price increase. The reality is that it is really costing us $300 per team to be able to put on qualifiers, our regionals, and our state championships. And we had to go up on the price. A lot of this comes with the cost of doing business after COVID. And in order to be able to maintain what we're able to do for our teams, we had to increase the price. Registration for our qualifiers will be opening on October the 16th, and you'll have more information stated before. Each area has a Padlet, and on that Padlet, it has some general information about what's happening across the state, and then more specific information that's going to be happening in your area. Our qualifiers are going to be limited to 24 teams per event. That's for safety and security reasons. And once again, remember the age limit for um, First Lego League Challenge is 14 in middle school. You cannot be 14 and be in high school. You can't be 12, 11 and be in high school. Um, and you must compete within your area. And so if you do any of those things outside of your area, your team could not be eligible for moving on to the next advancement. All right, Jason. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to actually give our next level up, the FTC and the FRC, some community outreach projects that could go towards their Inspire or their Impact Awards as they go throughout the season. Each one of the regional coordinators, Superpower, I'm sorry, that's not Superpower, it should be Masterpiece, um, season kits. No, take that back. The Superpower kits, we have those that are available from last season. If you want to conduct some type of outreach, if you want to do a camp, if you want to do a STEAM presentation, then you can get you can get with your coordinator, have kits left over from the superpower season that you could use in order to do some of the outreach programs. We also have the masterpiece sets for this season, and the coordinators need assistance in building some of those kits. So I would reach out to your coordinator once again to be able to build some of those kits. Um, Hosting a qualifier. We have qualifiers throughout the state with the increase in number of teams that we have. Let me just tell you guys, Texas has more teams than any other program that's globally. Um, we had almost 1,500 teams last season. We had an explosion of growth coming back from COVID. And so for us to be able to host a qualifier, we're reaching out more into our rural communities. And so we need a qualifier. So if you're interested in hosting a qualifier, once again, you get your area coordinator to be able to host a qualifier. Our Explore festivals, they are so much fun. These are non-competitive events, just like the Discover program. And we're always looking for people to host the Explore Carnival Festival. It's a little bit less daunting than the challenge event. It's a half-day event, and they get to do a lot of fun activities as well as present their programs. We're also looking for um, teams to be able to support what we call our new Get Ready events, our GREs. Our Get Ready events would be more or less we used to call a scrimmage, or we used to call it a practice day. However, we want to make sure that our teams are ready for the event. So we want teams to come if their robot is not built, if they have not even started on their innovation project. We want you to come to these events because we have more experienced teams that could help you to get ready for the event. And always just in your area, being able to volunteer at some of these events that are happening in your area. Okay, Jay. Okay, so this season, the masterpiece takes on a lot of art and bringing it involved. As far as First Lego League, we have in each one of our programs, we have a center stage. And with that center stage, we have a performer. And so today, I want to bring to you to our standard stage. Miss Brandy, like Madonna, she has no last name.
You
She is an actor, a singer, and a songwriter. Um, and so I present to you Miss Brandy.
Hello, good morning.
So, good morning, Miss Brandy. How are
I'm
you
doing well. How
today?
about yourself?
I am doing wonderful. Well,
I have it.
can you tell our audience some of the performance that you have
Yes,
appeared in?
ma'am. I have. Good morning, audience. And my last name is Brandy Milton, by the way. Nothing, Donna, but I've performed in several stage plays with Tyler Perry, The Marriage Counselor, including Medea's Big Happy Family. I've also appeared in the actual movie, Medea's Big Happy Family. And if you're here locally in the city of Houston, I've performed in the Motown show here at the Miller Outdoor Theater. And I also perform here locally at several different venues and private events and things of that nature.
Okay, wow, those are some awesome things to be connected with Tyler Perry and on big stage at Miller Outdoor Theater. And so one of the things that the students have to do is they have to do an innovation project. Innovation project is taking on some challenge and then being able to um, solve the problem. So,
Mhm.
one of the things that I want to ask as a performer, what is one of the biggest technological problems that you may have experienced as a singer?
One of the biggest things I know for sure that we run into is a sound issue. We have to have a sound engineer. Whoever plays that role is very important in helping us project our voices so that the audience can hear us clearly. We run into a lot of feedback. If microphones are too close to the speaker, it can cause that loud, piercing noise that you can hear sometimes, like I don't even want to do it because it makes my skin crawl. But that sound that when the speaker is too close to the microphone, or when two microphones are close to each other and they cross try to cross sound. And so it's really important for the sound engineer to be able to help us in putting that together, and well, in clearing that up, I should say, because it can cause us to stop what we're doing. It can really alter a performance. I've been in performances where the sound has gone completely out, and then they have to try to rush and see what's going on. It could be too many microphones on one board, um, too many monitors, like monitors not facing a certain way. All of those things are very, very important when it comes to performing. And basically, that's one of the most important things, because we're using our voice as an actress and as a singer. We want to be able to project our voice. Microphones are very important in this industry. Microphones, speakers, monitors, soundboards, mixers, engineers, studio engineers, even when we're in the studio to make the sound clear, mixing and mastering music. Once the project is complete, making sure that it's clear, and then adding vocal dynamics. And I know that everybody has heard of auto-tune. So when they introduced that to the industry, a lot of artists took advantage of it because it does kind of help to level your voice, or to give your voice a different type of sound when it's coming across the radio, or when you're listening to it in your car or online or something like that. When you're streaming music, mixing and mastering, an audio engineer as well is a very, very, very important part of my career. Well, not my career, but it's a part of what I do. I don't do audio engineering, but we need those people.
Oh, wow. Once again, thank you, Miss Brandy, for giving us some of your time today. And
No problem.
one of the things that we're going to be doing across the state is that we're going to have the museum day, we're going to have performance, we're going to have sound engineering day. So Miss Brandy is just one of many performers, one of many the people from the sound engineering that we're going to be bringing back to the stage for teams to be able to ask questions and kind of get some ideas for their upcoming innovation project. And so, if you're interested in wanting to connect again with Brandy, then you always reach out to me, and then I will help to facilitate, connection with Miss Brandy. We want to
Yeah,
be able to try to give teams more opportunities to connect with the professionals. Do you have any parting words for us, Miss Brandy?
we need audio engineers. We need sound engineers. There are so many different careers in the music industry and in the film industry that we can use this technology, especially if you're innovative and you have new ideas that you can bring. We're looking forward to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay, you're welcome.
Okay, Jason, next slide, please. Okay, so just following up on Miss Brand, Lego Education and a production team is looking for you. Okay, so yesterday an email went out from your coordinator, and Lego Education is doing a documentary, and they want to document from the time you open your box all the way to the time that you get to qualify or advance or whatever, happens beyond that. There, it's open. So we're going to send this information, and this is a time sensitive email that you answer. And so you need to get back with Miss Jackson if that's something that you and your team is interested in being a part of, so we can have Texas represented very well. Next slide, please. Okay. And so a lot of people have been asking about the qualifiers, about, what's happening. We're in the process of getting all of our qualifiers down for each region. Once again, you're going to go back to your Padlet. And as we receive the information, because some schools haven't even started yet, why don't we have this information? I know here in Houston, and I know even some schools in the Rio Grande Valley, they don't start till Monday. So we got to deal with basketball schedules, and different things that go on during the time that we are hosting our events. So pretty much this is a monthly overall view of what is going to happen with the first Lego in the state of Texas. And then we're going to drill down even more. So by September, we should pretty much know what our season is going to look like. So in September, you need to look for your local kickoff events. And we will have, like I said, more of the information there. In October, we are going to have focus on our coaches. We're going to focus on our coaches training. We're going to have in-person training for beginners as well as advanced. We're going to have information about Spike Prime as well as the EV3. Because remember, you can even still use, oh, we can't see it, can we? No, we can't. We can still use the RCX if you can get it to work. So every Lego robotics program is still available. Use RCX, NXT, EV3, and Spike Prime. So we're going to have just trainings ready for the coaches. Our November is going to be geared for our volunteers and our Get Ready events, our GREs. And once again, we're looking for our FTC and FRC teams to come and to participate with that. Our qualifiers are going to kick off in December, but we're going to still have get ready events in December for those teams who will not be participating until January. January, we'll have more qualifiers, and our regional tournament will be in February. Our state championship is going to be in March again, and it's going to be in the Stafford area. Jason?
All right, I'm going to jump in on this one real quick. We piloted a new program last year called our Certified Coaches Training. We started it with First Tech Challenge last season, and we ran through about 20, little over 20 educators, and we got a lot of good feedback on that. And we are working through finalizing the training to become a certified coach for First Lego League and First Robotics Competition this year. So stay tuned for those updates. If you're interested in taking our FTC Certified Coaches Training, please email us at ftc@firstintexas.org. The training is, we're trying to make all that training super local for you so that you don't have to travel and miss too many days out of the classroom. So please, if you're interested in that, please reach out to us. And over to education and outreach.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2023-24 first robotics season. I'm Jane Taylor, the Director of Education and Outreach, and we are super excited for each of you. The future is yours to create this season, and we hope that you see First in Texas as your partner, as we help make sure that everyone feels like they belong in First. The First in Texas Education and Outreach is committed to removing any barriers from our First pipeline to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We work with Texas Workforce Commission. That's one of our biggest partners. We care very much about the 21st century workforce and making sure that everybody in our pipeline has these. And more importantly, a lot of you, all of you, whether you are a mentor, a coach, a volunteer, we're all here for the educational attainment and achievement of these students. We're trying to give them the most 21st century learning experience And we want to see the academic improvement. So in this division, we think about that all the time. Our work is about best practices in teaching, learning, mentoring, and outreach. And we work, what does the work look like? We work to increase access to cutting edge technology inside and outside of these schools. We work with partners to try to help teams that may not have all of the equipment they need, or they don't know how to use the equipment that they have. But we work on making sure that you have access to the cutting edge technology. We also work with our partners and stakeholders to support integrating FIRST into your teaching and your learning. So if you are a classroom teacher, you are a homeschool teacher, and your concern is making sure that they actually are learning concepts, then we're here to support that. We do that by offering virtual technical trainings, the opportunity that Jason just told you of being a certified coach and going through that sort of training. So we're here to support you integrating FIRST, whether it's in class pack, whether it's as a team, after school, before school. We want to make sure you have what you need. And then we also want to increase your actual your knowledge. We want to make sure that your knowledge and skills increase. The technology in FIRST changes, year after year, whether it's the language, the robot language, or whether it is the robot itself. Our hope is that we can help you keep up as these changes happen in FIRST, and that education and outreach, along with all of our partners, can help you support you. This is some of the work. We work with FIRST Access. If you have never heard Access, please visit our website. And we have what FIRST Access allows you to do is an outreach project that your team can help create teams with differently abled students and make sure that they feel like they belong and are welcomed into FIRST. We have an effort to make sure from urban to rural that you have there's technical trainings available. Our First Like a Girl collaboratives, I'll talk a little bit about that on another slide, but it's an effort to make sure that every girl has access into FIRST, and any barrier that exists, we can remove it. Women Are First in Texas. It's where our high school girls and our female coaches, mentors, where we can find our place and our voice to support pipeline for girls in FIRST. And then lastly, we have outreach grants and we have sponsorships for particular programs when you are doing barrier breaking type of work. Next slide, Jason. One of our largest grants is actually with the Applied Materials Foundation. And if you are a follower of technology, then you know the semiconductor industry is making a huge comeback here in nationally in our country. And we, FIRST in Texas, have a strong relationship with supporting Applied Materials in their efforts to ensure that all girls, and not only in Central Texas, but throughout Texas, feel that they have everything they need to be competitive in this field that is ever so growing. As, like I said, the semiconductor industry is just growing exponentially. And with Applied Materials, our theory of change has been to really expose all girls, but specifically girls of color, girls from rural and low income backgrounds, to let all girls know that they belong in FIRST, and that through these programs, we're able to help them, develop self-efficacy and confidence, that they, that they feel, like I said, that they have the knowledge and confidence to be professional in this industry and all the industries that are in this amazing pipeline. Next slide. Some of the work we currently have happening, and I want to share this with you so that as you think about outreach projects and about how to share the FIRST core values in your learning communities, I I want to share with you ways to connect. Maybe these organizations already sit in your schools and your communities. You're already connected, and maybe you're not. But we want you to know that you can connect with education and outreach and collaborate with us. And since we have applied materials currently, that is not, we don't have a grant, but we will be offering for the first time this season an opportunity for girls in Central Texas to apply and be able to connect to this collaborative. This collaborative is specifically for girls who are from rural areas or from low income areas, girls who are Black and brown girls. So if your team wants to advocate and ally with those types of teams, or your team is that type of team, please connect with us. If you're in Central Texas, we also work with NSBE, Girl Starts in North and in Central, Latanitas in Central, Lewiston Area Urban League. If you are connected to an urban league or to a LULAC organization and you want to connect to this effort, please reach out to me and let me know. I will do that's what we have this collaborative for, to get that extra support. In North Texas, High Tech for High Heels, we currently have a grant available for girl servant teams. Please apply. All programs are welcome to apply for that grant. Well, when I say all program, all competitive programs. So First Lego League Compete, FTC, FRC. Same thing with Girl Start. If you have a Girl Start in your area, you have a Girls Inc. in your area, please reach out. I would love to work with you. And my last slide, next slide. The last slide, I wanted to make sure that I, as Director of Education and Outreach, leave you with some things specifically that you can do as you are planning out your season. I've been a part of FIRST for over 20 years. I started as a coach. I've been an area partner, and now I have the privilege of being a director at this organization and to advocate for all of you. And one thing that I want to let you know is that you already know, and that is that FIRST is more than about robots. It's so much more than that. And when you are going out to do outreach, outreach is advocating for FIRST to exist for the generation behind you. And it's bringing, you are the front lines to let everybody know that they belong here. You are our front lines for them to know that they are welcome. And there could be communities that we've never invited that you have access inviting into our fold. And the best way to do it is through outreach. And when you're doing outreach, our goal, our hope is that you are able to take the FIRST core values into your outreach, that is your outreach, that you are taking FIRST into your community because you want them to know about our core values. As you are outreaching in your recruiting, be mindful. Are you inviting all types of people from all diverse backgrounds to be mentors and coaches and volunteers? Just kind of take that glance. All of our communities look different, and honestly, as long as you are serving your community, you're doing the thing that's the good. You're doing good. So keep doing good in that. But if you have an opportunity to invite someone who doesn't know that they're invited to this party, please do in your outreach. The other thing is that we have a lot of partners, and we are always trying our outreach opportunities. So if you are doing outreach and you have a big idea and you need a partner, reach out to me. I would love to hear your idea. If nothing else comes from the conversation, maybe I can advise you and send you in the right direction to be successful. And lastly, what I'd like to say, and Dee kind of talked about this with First Lego League, but one of the best ways ways to create an inclusive first community within your region is to really get out and invite them into the fun part. You know, it's really cool when we have our robots done already. So, you know, but what about inviting people in to help build, to look at, you know, to build things with you? They may not build your robot, to like let them get their hands on it as you tell them about first. Networking events, find alumni who've come through the program who are in your community. Invite them in to talk to the students who you're recruiting or who you want to be a part of your program. We have a opportunity, like on a monthly, for the next couple of months, we'll be offering virtual technical training. Join us and get to know other people from other regions. It's a great opportunity to see teams that may be outside of your area, and join us in any collaborative. We have we want to connect with you, and we want you to see us as your partners in this venture to include everybody in first. So I'll that, and good luck, and I hope you have a great season.
All right, our new FTC program manager for the state is unable to be with us today, as she's helping North Texas with an event today. So I'm going to jump in and help out here for the First Tech Challenge season updates. We have some exciting new resources available on our website. We're calling it the SharePoint Public Resources. You can easily find that under the Resources tab on the firsttexas.org website. Our game advancement, our FTC game model, and all that information is available on this resource. So please stop by the First in Texas website and get this update. As a reminder, Texas has 5 areas that we operate in for First Tech Challenge. As you can see, orange with the Rio Grande Valley and South Texas, Central Texas, and then East Texas with our Houston metro area, Northeast Texas, and then West and Panhandle. Those are our 5 regions. You can get more information on these areas and these designations on our website at firsttexas.org. And with FTC, we did also have a rate increase this year for registration fees. There are 2 registration fees that you have to remember with FLL and FTC. You have a national registration fee and you have a First in Texas registration fee. So the fees are posted online. Again, if you'd like to register, you can go to our website and click register a team, or you can go directly to the registration system by going to store.firsttexas.org and complete your registration for First Tech Challenge. Registration is open. Registration must be paid both nationally and for First in Texas before you are able to compete. And volunteering for First events, we'll go over to Lucia Sepchik, our state senior volunteer coordinator.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a lovely day, and we're looking forward to some rain in Texas, hopefully next week. This is to go ahead and cover the volunteering for all 3 programs. And I want to say on behalf of First in Texas, we so appreciate all of our volunteers, and we want them to have a wonderful, happy experience when volunteering with us. We have volunteers are needed for First Lego League, First Tech Challenge, and the First Robotics Competition. Next slide, please. So since I work with FRC mainly, this is some of the roles. When out, if you want to recruit any volunteers or whatever, there's technical roles to recruit for and non-technical roles. And one of the things that I would say that if you all work for someone at your the company you work for, and there's some folks there that want to volunteer, you know, people think they will say, and I'm sure most of you know this, is, oh, well, I'm not an engineer and I don't know what to do and things like that. If people have the time and they truly want to get involved, I can tell you that for all programs, we have a place for them to volunteer. So this is just, like I said, a slide for recruiting volunteers for FRC. The same can be done for FLL and FTC, but I would recommend going ahead and going ahead and separating what's the technical thing that where you have to take the test and things like that, and then the non-technical roles. Next slide, please. And then this is the overall link. People will want to know, well, if I'm a judge, what do I need to do? The best thing to do is to go ahead and reference them to the First Headquarters website. It has a description and requirements for each volunteer position, which is too broad and too numerous to put on slides, because each description has each role has like a one-pager, if you will. But it can all be, this is a nice, concise way to find, all the volunteer positions. And if you want, Jason, can we send this out or have it posted on our website so it's easy for everybody to find?
Yeah, this will be posted on our website as well.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right,
Good morning,
now
everyone.
Juan Salinas with the FRC.
Good morning, everyone. So, good news this year. So far, we have about 21 rookie teams signed up for the season. So, just applaud everybody on the outreach you're doing to recruit teams and, help them, join us for this season. If you're new here, our season doesn't really kick off until January, where the game comes out. So this is what everybody really looks for right now is our schedule for the upcoming season. Right after this, it'll be published on our website with certain links. We do not have the hotels published yet, but we're aiming to have everything ready for you guys by the end of August, so that you can make your plans for the following year. So for week one, we have 2 events scheduled. It's from February 29th to March 2nd. So it's leap year. So we have the 29th this coming year. It'll be in Waco and Extraco Coliseum, and then in Katy at the Leonard Merrill Center. So we were there a few years ago. I think Lucia did a tournament there. Week 2, March 7th to the 9th. It's again at the Belton County Expo Center, the Garth Arena in Belton. Week 3, we have 2 events also, March 14th through 16th. Again, we'll be at Nolan Catholic High School in Fort Worth, and we'll also be at the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio. Week 4, March 21st to March 23rd, we have 2 events. M.O. Campbell Center, that's here in Houston. We were there last year, and it was, a great event. So we want to be there again because Aldine is a great host for First in Texas. And then in Dallas, we were able to get one right in the heart of Dallas. So it's at Fair Park Coliseum, which is right next to the Cotton Bowl. So you can see all those details on our website. And then week 5, we have 2 events, March 28th to March 30th. Again, the Amarillo Convention Center in Amarillo. And then also our Space City event is going to be at Friendswood at Clearbrook High School. Last year, I think it was at Clear Falls High School. So it's just a little bit down the road now this year at Clearbrook High School. And then finally, the state champ for UIL and the district championship, week 6, April 3rd through April 6th, again at the George R. Brown Convention Center. And I know Lucia has some great activities planned this year. We had some activities last year, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and then you can go to that link, firstintexas.org/events, and they'll be posted there.
Oh.
And all the information will be posted there.
There's one thing that I'd like to add that
yeah, go ahead.
For FRC teams, and hopefully this, and y'all can spread it to the brethren on Texas Robot Mentor Slack or whatever. First, we'll be posting these probably next week. With that said, if people are going to say, oh, well, at the Katy Merrill Center, there's only 24 slots posted. Why is it so small? We have 21 rookie teams so far. we hold back spots for rookies and other teams for late registration. So just because you see that there's only 24 publicly showing, we do have additional capacity. And we, like I said, we hold that. That's all. I've been doing this 27 years. It's not anything new that First in Texas is doing. What it is it's always been the case. When there were regional events in the state of Texas, there was always capacity held back for, rookie teams. So anyway, just wanted to add that.
All right, as we wrap up today's webinar, we want to remind you that please share your excitement and your passion about FIRST programs on social media. You can tag us by doing hashtag First in Texas and hashtag First in Show. Spreading the excitement is a team effort, and we look forward to seeing your exciting experiences on social media. And good luck to all teams. We're here for you, and we want you all to be successful. And now we will go through the last remaining question and answers. So please, if you have any questions or answers, we will take those now. Otherwise, the webinar has concluded. And again, the webinar recording will be available for your reference after this session. So any last minute questions?
Questions coming in. Jason, do you want us to, they are, a lot of them are to First Lego League. So Dee, do you want to?
You want to take
Okay,
any
so
of
I'll
these
start with
live?
I'll start with the first one. So it says, why is it called First Lego League? It's a kind of marriage between the two. And so First in partnership with Lego Education, they come together every year to come up with a theme. And that's why it's called First Lego League. Like Jane said, I've been doing this since 2003, and they both are partners in that particular arena. Someone asked about a district championship. I don't know what about FRC or.
I'll answer that one, Dee.
Yes.
Do we plan to have a district competition? And I'm assuming this is for FRC in Austin. When we look at our events are set for this year. When we look at our events, we look for availability, capacity, and and how many teams are actually concentrated in the area. With that said, having an event in Austin proper or outskirts of Austin is very expensive. You have South by Southwest there, that's there for 3 weeks. It's just too much competition. There aren't commercial venues available. And then the ones that we have for school doesn't have the capacity that we need. So currently we do have our events set for this year.
Okay, the next question is about the First Lego League innovation project. And no, we're not telling you the specifics of the projects. We're just giving you some ideas. And so every year you are supposed to talk to some professionals and share your information out. These are just ideas. We're not giving you any specific details as to what your project is about. That's something that you and your get together and you try to find out what issues exist within the current challenge and how you can have a solution for that. And then the next question is about judging and standardization. It was a question that brought up before. We do have mandatory judges training, and there is to be no subjective judge there. That's why we operate within the First global guidelines. And within the First global guidelines, we use the hub. And in the event hub, there is no subjectivity as it comes to awarding do the awards. And so we do have standardization, and there is mandatory training for all of the judges.
Dee, there was a question posted earlier from, I think, Ryan Gibson, and it was on growth of FRC in Texas.
Yeah, we answered that one, Lucia.
You
Yeah,
did?
we answered that one. Yeah, it's
Okay.
answered. Also,
Okay.
there's a question about FTC kickoff events. For those, it was something that we did not include in our slide, but please make sure you check our website. The kickoff events are loaded in there already. So please check our website, firsttexas.org, and you can see our kickoff events that are coming up.
Someone's about the registration fee. It's $225, not $255, and that is for the first Lego League Challenge. FTC has a different fee.
There's a question on whether for the innovation topics, can it be any hobby, for example, video gaming? For that one, I would suggest you to go to the First Lego League team meeting guide or to the engineering booklet, and it has some spark innovation questions, but it also encourages different career pathways. You might want to start there, and if you can lead yourself to video gaming from there, then I'd say go for it.
Yeah, so you said, can you be more specific about the current challenge that is making sound or art better? Once again, just like I said, I'm going to suggest that you go to, we're not giving you any suggestions on anything. We're just giving you resources for people to, but you need to go through that team meeting guide to find out what the challenge is really about so that you and your team can sit down and you can come up with some ideas. Once again, we're just going to help to provide professionals for the different parts of the challenge. That was one of the things in the survey that people asked for more opportunities. People who are in rural areas who don't get to come to the Natural Science Museum in Houston or the site museums in the larger cities. So this is just an opportunity for us to share resources with you. We're not giving any suggestions or anything. Yes, the link is recorded and we will be giving you, releasing that recording.
Dee, do you have any pricing on how much FLL Explorer is at this time? I know that you've talked about Compete a bit. There's a question
Yeah.
about Explorer.
The Explorer events are $65 this year, and that registration will open up in October when all of the first Lego Leagues open up. And Pilar, you're welcome. Like I said, we are just trying to be a resource for teams. The meeting guide, the team guides, when you order your sets, when you go and pay your national registration to First Global on your dashboard, you will get a copy of the team meeting guide and an engineering notebook. But you can also go to the First Inspires website, and at the First website under First Lego League, those books are also available.
Lucia, I think you're answering. There's a question, Lucia, about FRC events ending on Saturdays.
Just to let everybody know, all the events that we have booked so far are Thursday through Saturday event. All the 9 on there are Thursday through Saturday.
Okay, and once again, people are asking specific questions about the kickoff events. Once again, we're still in the process of getting those dates, those locations. Most schools have started, some schools have not started, and they're waiting on their schedules. And we should have all of that information by next month. Okay, if we host Explore Expo and discover what we have used, no. So with the Explore events, the events, the team bring their models that they've worked on for the last 10 to 12 weeks. So there's nothing for you. Like I said, it's not a heavy lift as it is with First Lego League Challenge. The teams actually bring their models to the event. And what you would be doing is you would just be having people to review the models. There's no judging, and we never use the word judging for Explore. And so with Discover, Discover is a classroom only event. That is something that um, they do within a classroom. So that's not something that we would host an event for. That's something that the school or the teacher in the class would use.
Dee, there was a question in the chat about can sixth graders compete in FTC?
Can sixth graders compete where, Lucia?
In FTC, it was in the chat.
Oh, that's a Jason question.
I'll jump into that. Sixth graders can compete on FTC teams, but they cannot make the majority of the team. So the majority of the team has to be 7th through 12th grade, but there can be a minority of sixth graders on a team.
And there was a question asking, do you recommend any resources for coaches to help students with coding? Depending on which program that is, I'm going to make an assumption that it's First Lego League. If it's First Lego League, then there is actually a challenge unit that you can download into your software. And there is a training, so they could go step by step and get the support. Reach out directly to your coordinator or to Dr. Wallace, and we could provide that support. But yes, there is a lot of training resources that you can access from the First Inspires First Lego League resource page. And all of this is also listed in your engineering guide or in your team meeting guide.
Okay, there are 2 questions about background checks. Yes, every coach is required. Lead 1, lead 2 are required to have completed a background check. It's the same thing as the youth protection screening. You will know that it is because you will have a green check mark on your dashboard under your contact session. So if you are and just the beginning, sometimes they'll tell you it could take up to 5 to 7 days. So one of the things that you really want to do is now to make sure that your dashboard is updated. I'm sorry we didn't go over this, and I know we'll go into a little bit deeper when we go to the into your in-person kickoffs. Need to make sure that if someone has left your school, not to keep using their information, even though it says that your team is event ready, because that email is going to go to the person's name who's no longer at your school. So if the person has left your school, you need to make sure you go onto your dashboard and to clear that up. Another question about how much time.
Is this the last question?
Well,
yes,
okay.
this is the last question because we're already 12 minutes over, so this will be our last question.
Okay, this is the last question. Okay, so the question is about the qualifiers. There's no prerequisite for the Qualify Explorer because it's not a qualifier. There is just an expo, and there's not a competition. There isn't any scoring. It's a holistic event for kids to come and demonstrate what they've done, over that time.
All right, thank you all. Oh,
I was going to just say, like, breaking news, I just checked. We're now at 22 rookies for FRC.
all right. Well, congratulations, Lucia. 22 rookie FRC teams. All right, everyone. I'd like to thank my staff and all the great volunteers across Texas that make this happen. Thank you all for being here today, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and the best of luck for your season. Again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Have a great day.
Great job, great job, great job. At one point, I think we were up to what, 180?
188 was the high, the biggest.